We're GV-TV. It's just Ducky. With television originating from Grand Valley State University. Where?
In beautiful uptown Allendale, Michigan.
Hi, this is Andy O'Reilly from KLQ, and you are in the Grand Alley with Greg Struss.
I'm Juliet Dragos from 13 Eyewitness News, your guest announcer for this week, and I'm inviting you to stay tuned because in the next 30 minutes, you'll hang out with me, party with Andy O'Reilly's Out of Control Saturday Night Show on KLQ, hear the music of Nectar, and now, here's the only host who thought we were feeding hummingbirds with our musical guest, Gregory Struss!
We have to close, we have to close, we have to close, we have to close, we have to close. I thought I could march in rhythm to the beat of a different drum, isn't that right? How's everyone doing today? Good. You know, we ought to do a kiddie show. I thought if we did a kiddie show, everybody would be like all excited and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're here for our cue card holder for the last 20 years, Mr. Sparky Anderson, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you've been following entertainment news, but did you hear the cast of Friends are demanding $100,000 per episode? Obviously they haven't. $100,000 per episode. You know, I think NBC might be able to save some money if they secretly replace Courtney Cox with Folgers Crystals. Did you know that? Oh, maybe? Yeah. Now, Juliet is into Family First, and you probably have been following the news and about the recent ratings system that President Clinton wants to pass into legislation for television. He feels that TV should be more kid-friendly, less violent. But that's only on C-SPAN. Did you know that? Letter number 3 comes to us from Huntington, Virginia, where a 17-year-old pizza delivery guy was arrested for a DUI after the store he works for closed for the day. His boss was charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor because he said it's hard. So it's hard to hire these people to work. Oh, yeah. So he gave the guy beer so he'd work for free. You know, I don't know what the big deal is. How do you think we get a crew for the show? I always give them like free beer. It's summer, right?
Yes, it is.
Is the chirping starting yet?
I hear them.
Moving along, as if I have a choice. I recently read a Rolling Stone article about Jerry Garcia, the leader of the Grateful Dead. Apparently, he had a serious heroin problem. In fact, he had to completely relearn how to play the guitar after being revived from a 3-day coma. That's funny. Our cameramen are always just as sharp after being revived from a drug-induced monologue. And finally, in Moscow, the Pravda, which is a newspaper that was created by Lenin, has stopped publishing. Sources close to the situation report that a feud between the Soviets and Greek owners is what caused the problem. The Greeks didn't like the Soviets drinking vodka on the job, and the Soviets said they couldn't understand the Greeks if they didn't. It's all Greek to me. You'll be happy to know it's over. We have all but what, like 27 and a half minutes to go?
Oh, no.
Anyway, you're tuned and you're here for a wonderful show, Grant, because on the big show tonight, we have Nectar. Nectar is our group. They will be appearing. You've seen them at the Orbit Room and the Intersection and all over the place.
That's right.
We also had an opportunity to hang out, and when we were doing this the other day, Kara was saying, you know, we ought to do more of this. It was like a slumber party. We went up to Out of Control Saturday night, Andy O'Reilly show on KLQ. We'll have a chance to look at that. We give some pub for Andy. Andy. And here to tell you how you can fill this exciting audience, our deluxe accommodations out here in the cornfields of beautiful uptown Allendale. Here is Juliet Dragos from Eyewitness News 13 to tell you how you can do it. Let's hear it for Juliet.
Thank you, Greg. The fields of corn are almost ready to harvest, but you don't have to wait for that to happen to be a member of our studio audience. For tickets or show ideas for West Michigan's first and only television talk entertainment showgram, please write in care of Grand Alley with Gregory Struss, GVTV, School of Communications, Grand Valley State University, beautiful uptown Allendale, Michigan, 49401. Or you can contact us via email at strussg.at river.it.gvsu.edu. Either way, we want to bond with you. Now back to more of the last summer big cablecast with Gregory Struss.
Thank you. I will tell you, this has probably been one of the most challenging summers, I think, of my entire life. We've been out here and having a great time, and I just kind of feel like I'm on a tangent of some kind. I don't know what the hell that has to do with anything as usual. Let's hear it for Juliet Dragos. She's our guest announcer. You know her from Eyewitness News 13.
Thank you, thank you.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm okay. Now you're wearing are those gold slippers?
They are gold slippers. It's a special occasion tonight.
Is it?
Yes.
What are you doing?
David Sanborn is in West Michigan.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you told us that, oh, we decided to dress up for the show.
Well, no, of course we would do that, right?
You've been on the news for, gosh, a big part of your life.
Yeah.
You worked out in Rock Island.
Sure.
My grandpa used to be a professional baseball player, and he started on one of the, I think it was a Rock Island team, played there for several years.
Well, that's the Quad Cities there. There are 4 cities there on the Mississippi River. That was one of the places that I worked in.
The Quad Cities, there's Rock Island, there's, where's Western Illinois? Macomb, Peoria,
Yeah, but that's not the Quad Cities.
and Iowa, right?
2 cities in Illinois and 2 in Iowa.
In Iowa.
Rock Island, Moline, Bettendorf, and Davenport.
Did you live there?
I lived in Rock Island.
Oh my gosh, what is there? Is it like mostly
a lot
like
of
Allendale?
cornfields.
A lot of cornfields?
Yeah, the Mississippi River. It's actually very pretty, a nice part of the country.
Do you ever go? Is that considered home to you still?
No,
or-
Pittsburgh is home. I was only in Rock Island. That was one of my brief stops.
And so you go to Pittsburgh, and you're working. Is Pittsburgh? Isn't Pittsburgh bigger than? Much
It's
larger than Grand
Yes,
Rapids?
it is. It's about, probably now it's a top 20 market. It's fallen slightly. It was 12 when I started there, number 12. I worked there twice. I started right out of college, and my first job out of college was I was the Chiron girl. We call it a telemation, you know, when you read.
No one knows that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm saying Chiron operator.
Chiron.
Everybody today is like,
what's
what is a
that?
Chiron?
Yeah. Telemation is what it was called. That was my first job. I learned how to write, and then I became a producer, and I went to Alabama. And that was fun, living in the South. We had spring in February, which was beautiful.
I think we're going to have spring in October. That's when it usually seems
Maybe.
like it starts to get real warm around here. You obviously worked your way into the anchor position here after spending numerous years working in the field and such.
Yes.
And now that you're on the news and you have to deliver it every day, what is your feeling on a day that there isn't good news, which seems to be a lot?
You know, and unfortunately, that is our primary job, is to tell people about the things that happen. People are interested and want to know about the terrible things, and that's a terrible part of the job, and it's very hard to detach yourself from it some days, especially the TWA Flight 800 crash. When we see something like that, you hear about these poor people, and were they alive when they hit the water? It's very difficult, and you just kind of have to say, the people need to know what's happening. Unfortunately, we have to tell them about accidents and bad things that happen, you know, murders and shootings and crime. But then we try to find a way to put the good stuff in, too.
Do you ever go home at night and you're just like totally, gosh, I can't believe this. We did this story about a homicide with the TWA. We had this story where pets were run over by cars, and you know, it's like, have a great night.
Yeah,
I mean, do you
well-
ever just like go home and decide, I think I'm going to drive off the bridge today?
No, because you know what? No matter what I did, I would still hear about it or read about it or watch somebody else tell me about it. So it's, I feel like if I have to tell people about it, and it's my obligation to do that, then I'm going to try to do it in a way that they can understand and be compassionate, because it's really hard. I mean, sometimes you just find yourself getting caught up in it, talking about the animals being run over. I thought I was going to gag when I was off camera saying that. I thought, I can't believe someone would do that to these. And we have to see these dead kitties, you know. But it's hard. And somebody has to do it, so I do it.
Family First is another one of your segments. How do you feel that family, because what I'm finding, I mean, as I'm rapidly approaching 30, it's like a lot of people my age already have their kids, they're starting their family, their career, the whole deal, and it seems like they pay attention to their child's needs, and it's like if a job comes around and a career change, it's like, well, I don't want to move because we got to think about the kids, and yet our generation, it was like, well, Dad got a job, tough. Are you finding that people are becoming more attuned to their children's needs, or?
Yeah, what I am finding,
back around that way?
and speaking of Family First, this is one of those opportunities that I have to tell good stories, which is what we do with Family First, positive stories. The thing that strikes me most about families today, and especially people who are our age who are parents and raising children, is that there is no such thing as a typical family. It doesn't exist anymore. There isn't a mom and a dad and a boy and a girl and who eat dinner together, and both parents do work. And in most cases, it's because they have to. I know personally a lot of my friends and people I interview, one parent, and not necessarily the mother, would love to be able to stay home and raise the children. More and more are. I mean, and plus we have, like, with the Family Leave Act that was passed, both moms and dads are taking time off. But I'm also finding that there are fathers who, in fact, we have a photographer at our station who has gone on part-time and works weekends. His wife is a teacher. She works 5 days, and he raises the children. And so we don't have a traditional family anymore. And people do. I mean, they really are focused on spending quality time with their children and trying to find, educating them. I don't know if when we were little, I mean, if we were walking by one, that was a great revelation. Now, if children don't have this immense vocabulary by one, the parents, oh, there's something wrong, So they're really working, trying to develop children quicker, and it's fascinating to see.
How did you find your reports from Bosnia? Are they attuned, very family oriented?
Boy, in Bosnia, it's just they don't know. They have no orientation right now. They're still trying to get oriented just back to their lives. The families are very strong in Bosnia, and in fact, in Bosnia, they live together. I mean, when they buy their house, they move. When the kids get married, they move in. I mean, their homes are big. They're very, very family oriented. However, many of them don't have families anymore.
So we're going to take a look at one of your reports,
Oh, you
a
are?
part of a report from Bosnia. This is recently?
Yes,
that you
we were
did?
there in May.
Okay,
In
let's take a look at it. This is from Juliet's visit to Bosnia.
It's springtime in the picturesque Bosnian town of Zenica. This is the third largest city in Bosnia, but it has the largest number of refugees. This family is like many who come to Zenica looking for shelter, food, and medical help. They lost their home in the war, so now the parents and their 7 children live in this small space. They all eat, sleep, even wash their clothes in a pot in one room. But the family is optimistic and happy. They're glad they're all alive and well, and they look forward to moving to Australia soon, where they will join another son already there. Across the room of the same refugee camp, the older residents sit and talk. Many of them are not as optimistic. This woman is 74 years old.
It's so sad for me to see it. It was that particular refugee camp that we were looking at. That was one of the most difficult days for me when we were in Bosnia. We were there for 5 days, and these people lost everything. They have nothing, and they're sick. The family with the 7 children who we just saw, they were so happy, though, because not one of them was injured. They didn't lose anybody, so they're going to move to Australia.
So Channel 13, ABC 13, is making a difference, right?
I think so.
With Juliet Dragos. Okay. Thanks for coming out. Can you stay the rest of the show? Or?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll be back in a moment with Nectar. Stay with us.
Is that the skinny cam?
That's the skinny cam.
Did you bring the skinny cam
That's
this
skinny
time?
cam.
Because I'll look
Yes,
like
we
an
did.
egg if you did.
Now, let's talk about what we're doing tonight.
Right.
Who's on the big show?
Playgrind is going to be playing down here tonight live, and we're waiting for the guitarist who's locking up his car.
He's locking up his car too.
Those band guys, you know,
Always late or what?
always late. You know, they get all the women and they're always late.
Always
What's up
late.
with them? I don't get that.
Well, if the women are late after they've been with them, then we really got.
That's the other problem.
You can always tell a pretty classy place by the kind of water fountain they have. This is real clean. That's cool.
Oops. This is the Grand Alley with Greg Struss. And notice I got the name right, Greg.
Yes, you did.
I screwed up the name last time I was on the show. I was on his show, and Greg did what he shouldn't have. Greg brought the fat guy camera out and made me look like a real tubby guy. But he's got the diet camera. It's right there. There it is. Now I'm looking thin. I'm looking styling. Ladies, check me out.
You come in on Saturday. You have nothing planned.
Not really. See, guys, this is the big interview. Not really. I really don't. I don't. I come in here and I kind of have the attitude of, let's let the listeners take over. You know, we talked about that on the show the other time. It's free-form radio. It's just get in here and go.
I was wondering if you guys could do like the tune to Beretta. Do you remember that? Can you do that one?
Every time I go see him at a bar, I have a great time. You know, because I'm usually loaded.
Well, what's your criteria for being a good fan?
Well, you know, they draw good-looking girls. You know? I want instant satisfaction. So that's what I try and do. And other ones I lie to all night.
So you're kind of like the alternative to a 900 number. Is that what you're saying?
I wanted it to be representative. Oh, yeah. Greg Struss, better door than a window. Ask for him by name.
They have like the coolest looking business cards. So I give them one of my business cards. It's a cheap thing. And it's like, do I look uptight or what? And John's telling me earlier, he's like, man, this guy's really uptight. What's your problem, Greg? You know?
You do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's a non-stop thing.
So he understands what I'm about. I don't get it. I'm just like really upset by this stuff. We went luging and I blessed everyone. They're looking at me, what the hell is he doing? Now there's talk that the Out of Control Saturday Night's going national.
Yeah.
What's the deal with this?
Right now it's a big dream, but it's certainly feasible and something we're going to pursue, something I'm certainly going to pursue.
How soon?
Next week, okay?
You want to try blessing them? Try blessing them. You have to say, please send in your money.
Please send in your money. I can't do that. I'm not a TV guy. If you're a local band and you don't get on the air, don't take it personal. Just keep plugging away. Sooner or later, you're going to hit.
What do you say about a whole show? Is there any way I can do that 94.5 then? I've always wanted to do that.
Go ahead. Do what you want.
All right, who's the next group?
Metallica.
It's Metallica on 94.5 KLQ.
No, I think you should try it different. You need to say something with your voice, and nothing bad. Okay. You need to say, relaxing, easygoing favorites on WKLQ. Try that. That'd be good.
Relaxing, easygoing favorites on 94.5 FM, easy listening, KLQ. Totally out of my element here.
Well, how do you think I felt when I was on your show?
Well, I don't know. You know, it's like you're supposed to come on and be real witty and stuff. It's like,
I don't know, man. I'm glad I put you back, you know, because I was nervous on your show. Oh,
I felt like you handled it better than what I did.
oh, you did fine. We love you. Come here. That's okay. Group hug. There you go, Greg.
Okay, we've returned with Juliet Dragos, and we had a look at Andy O'Reilly's Out of Control. That show is totally out of control.
It sounds wild.
It is wild. Got a band up there and everything, and you know, it looks so simple.
Yeah.
You know, when you start figuring the lights, the video, all the action, all that stuff. Our next guest can be seen performing at the intersection, Orbit Room, and all over West Michigan. We'll have a chance to talk with them shortly, but for now, let's welcome Nectar.
The spinning wheel spins around and around and around and around and around once again. And when it goes up, it always comes down and comes down and comes down and comes down. It falls, you surely will fall. Oh, you'll crash wing back, and you'll break your thick skull. And never before have I been of such mind to say these things to you. She goes spinning around with her hands in the air and her feet off the ground. And will she fall down? Oh, she surely won't know. She won't know. She won't know. She won't know. But she'll fall. She'll fall. She surely will fall. Oh, she'll crack her wing back and she'll break her thick skull. And never before have I been of such might to say these things to her. Thank you.
Visitors come to Holland. They may be there to look at tulips, but realize it's a place to learn how to speak Spanish. A backup route has been in the planning for about 10 years called the Rick Beckett South Beltline. They patented the name after Rick's expanding beltline.
Good local is good or great syndicator. Unless everybody does the job well, the whole thing falls apart.
I think you're going to hear from him.
I appreciate that.
Sorry about that. I just came down.
He's not going to reverse the charges, is he? Say hello to the Roswells, everyone.
You can live with your ivory. My thoughts will never stop.
Welcome, Pudgy Chop.
You taking my home, you taking my life, and
Please welcome back the great Daryl Nathan.
Of the night.
We've gone on location here at the Muskegon International Airport in beautiful Muskegon, Michigan, in Holland. Beautiful uptown Grand Haven, Michigan, here at Kendall College of Art and Design. Now this is... You know, that's a person's big break in life when they can take a microphone and go, and bless everyone. Thank you. We are talking with Erica?
Monica.
You're Monica, you're Erica.
Erica.
You two are sisters.
Yeah.
For how long?
She was born.
You know, one of the things that we were talking about before the show, Joe was telling us, that you have a very unique sound because normally one of you plays a violin, someone's playing a flute,
Yeah.
a keyboard, not a guitar, regular guitar, acoustic guitar, and what am I missing? Drums.
Drums.
How did you come up with that kind of a mix?
Well, she plays the violin and I play the flute, so we just kind of incorporate it into the band.
Okay, and you're working on a CD.
Yes, we're going to go and record pretty soon.
This week or next.
Okay. Well, we really enjoyed you coming out.
Thank you very much.
This is Nectar. We're going to hear from them in a few seconds. Why don't Juliet and I will just like walk? We will mosey on up here. Okay, I got it. Maybe here we are. Here we are. You know, if we stand like right here,
Well, you
then
stand
we're
on
like
the floor
we're at
and
each
then-
other's level here.
Yeah, that's good.
We'll have a seat over here. You are on 6 and 11
6
on
and
Eyewitness
11.
News 13,
Monday
and
through
now it's
Friday.
ABC 13.
ABC
13. And where do you think you're going to be a couple years from now?
Oh, I think I'll still be in Grand Rapids. That's what I plan to do anyway.
Oh, one thing. Okay. Well, we're glad to hear that. We all, because you're such a special person to us. We hope you take that to your desk and think about us when you
Beautiful.
come out. Thank you.
I
Thanks for
will.
coming out.
Look on the set in the background. It'll be there.
Okay. I'm kind of like at a loss for words here. This is I guess this is it, isn't it? This is it. We are taking a break, a well-deserved break. I want to thank everyone who worked on the show this summer. We had a great time. Like I was saying earlier, it was very challenging. And to have a group like Nectar come out, we really appreciate that. Joe McCarter's on sound. And that's it. Juliet, thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
And we look forward to your visit again sometime in the near future. This is Greg Struss. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Ooh, I miss you, God knows I miss you, honey. I can't wait to see you again. I've been thinking I'd like to start over, like to imagine what you said was good. Believe if you just believe.